This is the Bunurong Coast, one of my favourite places in the world, and just an hour's drive from where I live. It's graced with kilometres of beautiful sandy surf beaches, inlets and estuaries, sand dunes and coastal bush, big cliffs and rugged reefs. A truly awe-inspiring place here in Victoria, Australia. It's also known as Bass Coast, named after the explorer George Bass, who navigated and explored this coastline, and also the strait named after him in the 1700s. But the name Bunurong Coast gives homage to the indigenous people that frequented these coastal areas. The Bunurong lived here for long before, living off the rich supply of food that could be found here. This place is wild and alive. I grew up in the outer suburbs of Melbourne as a little red-headed teenager, and like any young grommet with itchy feet, I was always thinking about how I could get down to this coastline on the weekend so I could go surfing. As the years went by, this expanded into exploring this coastline for fishing, kayaking, camping, and just generally soaking in the place, usually accompanied by my mate Mickey, who knows this coastline like the back of his hand. Having my own kids now, I get a real thrill in showing them the places that I've grown up to love, and getting them exposed to the beauty of this coastline is something that I often prioritise. And here I am, off for another weekend of immersing myself into this environment.
G'day everyone, so for today's adventure we've gone down to the coastline. We're going to have a bit of an adventure down here. Now I'm here with Ethan and I'm here with my good friend Mickey, and today we're actually staying somewhere a bit different. We're doing a car camp at a hip camp location here down at Inverloch, and I basically won a competition to be the hip camp mate for winter 2022 here in Victoria. So for the next 3 months I'm going to be showing you locations, like private property locations around Victoria, and I'm looking forward to that. So we've got a beautiful little spot here surrounded by kind of coastal gums and coastal kind of bushline and stuff like that. And so I'm going to be staying in something a little bit different tonight. Now this old swag here is from the 1980s, and it looks very old, and it's probably a bit funny if you see it, but it's got a bit of history to it. So this was my uncle's swag, and he liked to do a lot of camping and even took me camping sometimes, and he passed away quite a while ago, but I was close to him, so it's kind of cool that I'm carrying on that legacy and using his old swag to come out camping here. And Ethan and I are going to be cozy in here. Got the Alton Goods tarp over it in case it does rain, which forecasted for a little bit of rain tonight. But yeah, it's kind of like a nice big cozy sleeping bag, isn't it, Ethan?
Yes.
So being winter now, it gets dark very, very quick here in Victoria. Around 5 o'clock, 5:30, it starts getting dark. It's 4:30 now, it's already starting to get dark. So we're probably going to be cooking up in the dark, but that's all right. Got the headlights on my car, which I'll put on. But yeah, it's just beautiful to kind of wind down, and nice to do something a little bit different. You know, I'm used to wild camping and stuff like that with the kids, but being a hip camp mate for winter, yeah, it's going to be great just to stay in some cabins and do some car camping and stuff like that. It's getting chilly already. I saw it's going to get down to 2 degrees tonight, so but we'll be nice and warm in that swag. I'm looking forward to that. So we're just getting ready to cook up, but I've got a special treat. I've been starting my own homebrew, and this is the first batch I've ever done. And this is a lager. I hope this one's a good one. Sweet. Yeah, just cook now.
Winter here in Victoria usually means cold and wet and windy, but that's okay. Believe it or not, but winter has usually been my favourite season down here. The hustle and bustle of summer is well and truly gone, and you often get expanses of beaches to yourself if you're willing to brave the weather. It has its own mood here in winter, a cold, mysterious, melancholy feeling. I wonder how the early settlers found the place, a daunting, unwelcome landscape, perhaps contrasted with the local indigenous people who looked into the land and saw life. There is something almost lonely about staring out at a wild windswept ocean and huge coastal cliffs. Exploring these parts of the coast, though, is what really inspires me.
Alright, so we're going exploring on the coastline here, and this is a bit of a secret spot. I'm not telling where this is. Unlike the camp, I'll let you know where that is so other people can go, but we've explored these areas all throughout the years, so they're kind of our quiet little secret spots. But this is Bunurong Coast, and if you come down here, this is the kind of stuff you can find if you're willing to go off the beaten track, which is obviously what we're doing. Private little beach here. Hopefully we'll catch a fish. We'll see how we go, but steep ride down. Ethan's doing pretty good, but yeah, this is awesome. Makes you feel alive, this kind of stuff. Ethan, show me the rocks you're collecting. What do they look like?
They're in the...
They've got like lightning bolts in them, don't they? Watch your steps, yeah? Some really cool rock formations. It's a super windy day today, but this little kind of a cliff and a cave is protecting us. So we're going to hunker Ethan down here. Look at that, it's a skull. That's cool. Alright, I mean this mission has been a little bit difficult because the wind is it's full on and the swell's quite big. So we're not going for a fish here. So I thought just to kind of end the day, or at least, you know, do something fun. We'll have a little fire here on the beach, eat our lunch and just relax because we're really sheltered in this spot here, which is nice. I reckon that's what we're going to do. You want to make a fire? Let's do it. Well, we don't have fish for lunch, but we do have scroggin and we do have beef jerky and a couple of stouts, and that'll keep us warm here in this beautiful spot. And there's a Willy Wagtail over there. There he is, Mr. Willy Wagtail.
One of the blessings of having kids is that you get to relive your childhood again, but through their eyes. You start getting a bit older and maybe a little bit more serious, and all of a sudden you're brought back down to dancing to silly little songs or getting giddy over finding a piece of driftwood to draw squiggly pictures on. Or maybe this isn't being brought down at all, but rather being pulled back up, because life has more of a spark to it when you see the world with childlike wonder. We can be heightened to see the magic around us when we look out there with wonder, rather than have our senses dulled by always dwelling on a cruel and frightening world like the TV would have you do. So it's good to get out there with kids. Remind yourself of how incredible and ridiculously big this world is, and how small we actually are in contrast to it. Bringing your focus outside of yourself and just being caught up in something bigger than you is actually a path to joy. And exploring this coastline with my friend and my son continues to do this for me. So my challenge to you would be to find your own special places that can do the same for you.